I hope this don't come off as corny when I say this. Maybe I'm built differently, maybe I'm wired differently, but I couldn't imagine seeing an Instagram post about Bronny going into the NBA draft and being so upset. I go into the comment section and say, "Oh, gosh, man, I can't believe this dude's getting drafted. This guy ain't ready for the NBA." I couldn't imagine being that upset. I'm trying to get this straight. So when you get a job and you benefit from having a connection, there's nothing wrong with it. That's life. But when Bronny does the same thing, oh yeah, that's not right, that's not fair, there's a problem with that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you are having a great start to your week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. On the slate for today, we have no other than Mr. Bronny James. As you can see on your screen right here, he is trending all over Twitter, and it's for good reason. The NBA Draft Combine is currently ongoing. We're going to talk about that in just a second, a little foreshadowing here, but the big time news came out early this morning. Before we get into that, I do got to give you some brief context. For those of you that aren't caught up to date, Bronny, he announced a couple weeks ago, that he is going to be going to the NBA. Although he declared for the NBA draft, and I want a lot of people to understand this, he was still maintaining his college eligibility. What does maintaining your college eligibility mean, or how does all that work? It's simple. I'll dumb it down for you. A lot of times when you have these college guys that are on the fringe of being a late second round pick to potentially going undrafted, they don't full on go into the NBA draft and hire an agent and do all that stuff, because they want to go back to college if the scouts tell them, "Oh yeah, buddy, you're probably not going to get drafted." Because all throughout this draft process, these teams will tell you straight up, "Hey, there's a good chance of you being drafted," or "Yeah, it's probably in your best interest to go back to college." So getting back to what I was saying, if you do hold on to that college eligibility while declaring for the NBA draft, and you get some bad reports and you don't think you're going to get drafted at all, you just go back to college. Simple as that. Up until this morning, that's what Bronny was doing. There was still a possibility that he returns to college. However, at 7:58 a.m. to be exact, Shams tweeted this out. Sources: Bronny James is expected to stay in the 2024 NBA draft. The USC freshman has been fully cleared to play in the league as part of a fitness to play panel and will participate in all pre-draft activities starting with the draft combine this week. Everything after the first sentence, you can just throw it out the window, not really important. I'm going to highlight it for you. This is what you need to pay attention to. Bronny James is expected to stay in the 2024 NBA draft. There's a lot of stuff going on, and as to when I'm speaking and making this video, it's probably already happened by now. I believe Bronny James is currently performing in the combine. But that right now is besides the point. The whole reason he is trending is because of this right here. It's looking like he's staying in the NBA draft. I don't know if this has ever happened before, where you have a guy who is averaging less than 5 points per game, 2.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and shooting 36.6% from the overall field, entering the NBA draft. And if it has happened before, I can guarantee you this, it's never going to happen again. I really want you to think about this. If this was some random person, he didn't have a father in the NBA, I think the media would be talking about him for all the wrong reasons. I think everybody would be talking about it because of how dumb of a decision it is to enter the NBA draft when you weren't even starting on a team that went below 500 and you didn't have that good of a season. But truth of the matter is, and I don't want to sound like a smart aleck when I say this, I apologize if I come off that way, this is an entirely different situation just due to the fact it's Bronny James. I mean, come on now. Do you really want me to sit up here and act surprised and act like I don't know why he's getting all this hype media coverage and why he will be drafted in the NBA? We know why. However, with that being said, if you watch my last video on Bronny James, it was over 2 months ago, I made it clear and evident, I am really high on this kid's game. I made a 14-minute video, feel free to check it out for yourself, explaining to you why I like Bronny as a prospect and I don't understand all the hate he's getting. Here's where things get a little interesting. So technically, according to USC on ESPN, the official website, they have Mr. Bronny listed at 6'4", 210 pounds, which is really controversial because a lot of people have stated that he's 6'2". I've seen some people say he's only 6'1". I try to meet it in the middle and say he's around 6'3", 6'4". For the sake of this video, since the media says he's 6'2", and this, what I'm looking at right here from ESPN says he's 6'4", we'll meet it in the middle for this video. He's 6'3". That's what I'm going to call him. You know what? Actually, I'm changing my mind because I know people are going to run to the comment section and say, "Matt, he's not 6'3". We'll just say he's 6'2". How about that? So no excuses. To make the haters happy, we'll say 6'2". And all the haters and casuals in every comment section on Twitter, Instagram, wherever, it's all they bring up, his stat line and how he played for a terrible team in college. I'm going to keep it a Fortnite V-Buck with you. Me, myself, I don't understand the argument and it doesn't make any sense. I have said this for years now on the channel, and I will continue to say it. When you understand this, it will change your entire perspective on the NBA. The National Basketball Association, aka the NBA, They don't want basketball players, they want athletes. There's a difference. They want athletes, and I can't blame them because it's a recipe for success. I'll give you an example. I know the series is tied up 2-2 now, but did you see the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 2 at Denver? Good gosh almighty, all that length and size. They were like one of the best defensive teams I've ever watched. Them losing these past couple of games are really besides the point. The point I'm trying to get across here is the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have athletic, lengthy, and tall guys all over the floor. Therefore, when you yourself, you're trying to form your opinion on Bronny James and you're trying to evaluate his game, please throw away this stat line you're looking at right here. It's irrelevant. There's a lot of guys that play college basketball that have way better seasons than Bronny James. They average 20 points per game, and they're not even going to sniff the NBA. Why? Because their game doesn't translate over. I'm not even viewing this as, oh, LeBron James is his dad. No. I'm not even thinking about that. I firmly believe that Bronny's game, it translates over to the NBA. I mean, look at him. He's a definition of a perfect 3-and-D guy. He's roughly 6'2", give or take. He's going to play lockdown defense, give you everything he's got. He always hustles, and if he's wide open, he's going to knock down the shots. I think he's a great energy player. He could be an excellent 6th or 7th man off the bench, and he also has a lot of humility about him. He has never given off the vibes to me that he's some spoiled and entitled prick, and because his dad is arguably the greatest of all time, he deserves to be a starter on any team. No, he works for everything he's got. I think he's an excellent prospect. Now, getting that out the way, I do apologize. I talked about that a little longer than I wanted to. The whole reason, actually the main reason I'm making this video, is because of this right here. All I've seen these past couple of months, and I've been paying attention, just because we don't make a video on it doesn't mean your boy Matt's not seeing it, is people bringing up nepotism. Nepotism. That's what it is. That's why Bronny James is getting drafted. Let's be honest, if his dad wasn't his dad, he probably wouldn't even get drafted. Over 21,000 likes. There's so many comments I could read off. There's no point of it. You get what everybody's talking about and saying. Nepotism. If you don't know what nepotism is, I'll pop up a definition right here. Nepotism is the act of granting an advantage, privilege, or position to relatives in an occupation or field. Which I'm not going to try to act dumb and say, oh yeah, well, I don't think Bronny James is going to gain any advantage by being the son of LeBron James. No, he is. He is going to get drafted because he is the son of LeBron. I'm just going to go out and say it. But remember, guys, two things can be true. I can also believe he's a great prospect, and he's also getting an advantage from being the son of LeBron. But here's what has made me laugh, especially these past couple of weeks. People are acting like the situation with Bronny gaining an advantage because his dad's #1 in his field, that's something rare. This happens every day, my friend. This has been happening in America the past 100 years. Let me ask you a question. What's the difference from Bronny getting a job because of his dad is one of the best players in the NBA and you calling up one of your buddies to see if he'll hire your son at his company? I'm trying to get this straight. So when you get a job and you benefit from having a connection, there's nothing wrong with it. That's life. But when Bronny does the same thing, oh yeah, that's not right. That's not fair. There's a problem with that. Most people that work at a manufacturing company, these corporate jobs, wherever, I could go on and on, it's because of nepotism. They knew somebody there and they put in a good word for them. I don't know if some of you haven't figured this out, but in this thing we call life, it's not necessarily about what you know, it's who you know. Connections and networking, I'm not saying it should be this way, it's just a reality of the planet I live on, are going to take you way farther than hard work. I guarantee you, 85% of the people that are mad that Bronny's getting an opportunity to get drafted are currently working at a job in which nepotism played into it. They knew somebody there, their dad worked there, or something like that. And another thing for the people that want to use the whole nepotism argument, well, remember Dwayne Wade, his son Zaire Wade? It didn't help him too much. And here's the funny part about this, guys. There are people genuinely upset and mad that Bronny is going to get drafted. I hope this don't come off as corny when I say this. Maybe I'm built differently. Maybe I'm wired differently. But I couldn't imagine seeing an Instagram post about Bronny going into the NBA draft and being so upset. I go into the comment section and say, oh, gosh, man, I can't believe this dude's getting drafted. This guy ain't ready for the NBA. I couldn't imagine being that upset. This guy getting drafted is borderline comical, man. This is ridiculous. And we'll end off the video with this, just something for your train of thought. Growing up, I loved basketball. Worked extremely hard at it. Unfortunately, had some major injuries that ended my career. But thinking about it now, if my dad was in the NBA and somehow, some way, he could open up a door for me to go to a G League team or potentially get drafted, heck yeah, I'd take that opportunity. Would you? For the people that are mad out here, you would be doing the same thing and you wouldn't be mad at all. Think about it. The way I said think about it there reminds me of the Spider-Man movie when Green Goblin offers him that deal and he says, "Think about it, Spider-Man." Anyways, sorry, that was corny. Nepotism, it happens every day. It's been happening. It's nothing brand new. If you're mad about it, you're a loser. And I would get it a little bit more if Bronny was some arrogant a-hole, but dude, one of the most humble guys out there, extremely likable. I'm sure this won't be the last time we talk about Bronny in the upcoming weeks. Let me know your thoughts down below. But